The real reason Star Trek's Una Chin Riley is called Number One. When audiences first met Una Chin Riley, better known by her iconic moniker Number One in Star Trek, Discovery and later in Strange New Worlds, the title carried the weight of over half a century of Star Trek history. Played with quiet strength and commanding presence by Rebecca Romijn, Una's role brought new depth to one of Star Trek's most mysterious characters. But why is she called Number One? The answer is layered, part military convention, part Gene Roddenberry's original vision for the future, and part modern reinterpretation that gives Una her unique identity. The origins of Number One. The term Number One first appeared in The Cage, the original 1965 Star Trek pilot. At the time, Gene Roddenberry wanted to challenge the norms of mid-20th century television by placing a woman in the role of second in command. Majel Barrett, who later became Nurse Christine Chapel and the voice of Starfleet's computers, played the character. Her position as executive officer, the captain's right hand, was a revolutionary choice, especially in an era when female characters were often confined to secretarial or romantic roles. Calling her Number One was both a practical decision and a symbolic one. In naval tradition, Number One is a nickname for the first officer, a term still in use by some modern militaries and navies. Roddenberry drew from this naval precedent to make the rank feel authentic. Yet there was also a sly double meaning. This woman was not only second in command, but also, in Roddenberry's eyes, the embodiment of his progressive vision for Starfleet's future, his number one example of equality in action. From experiment to legacy, despite Roddenberry's bold intentions, NBC executives rejected the idea of a woman in such a high-ranking role, claiming audiences wouldn't accept it. They demanded that Barrett's character be removed when Star Trek was retooled into the series we know today. Thus, Number One vanished after The Cage and didn't return to canon for decades. Still, the name lingered in the fandom's collective memory. It became shorthand for a lost piece of Star Trek's DNA, a reminder that the franchise was always ahead of its time, even when network politics pulled it back. When modern Trek revived Number One through Rebecca Romijn's portrayal, it wasn't just about filling in a missing character. It was about reclaiming Star Trek's progressive roots. Una Chin Riley, a fully realized Number One. In Strange New Worlds, Una Chin Riley finally steps out from the shadows of history. The show gives her not only a name, but also a rich backstory and personality. She's no longer just the female first officer, but a character defined by competence, compassion, and complexity. The title Number One works on multiple levels here. First, it reinforces her professional authority as Captain Pike's most trusted officer. Pike uses the term as both a sign of respect and camaraderie, emphasizing their bond. She is the person he relies on above all others, the one who keeps the ship running smoothly when the captain is occupied with larger decisions. Second, it carries the symbolic weight of her hidden identity. Una is revealed to be Illyrian, a member of a genetically modified species outlawed by the Federation. Just as the title Number One originally marked her as the first example of Roddenberry's daring vision, in Strange New Worlds it marks Una as singular, someone who lives with secrets but still commands loyalty and admiration. She is Number One, not only in rank, but also in uniqueness. Tradition meets evolution. What makes the nickname so powerful is that it bridges military tradition and Star Trek storytelling evolution. Naval crews often use informal shorthand for officers. Number One is functional, efficient, and respectful. But in Star Trek, traditions are rarely just traditions. They are repurposed to carry narrative resonance. When Pike says Number One, it doesn't feel like he's merely following protocol. It feels personal. The phrase communicates trust, loyalty, and even affection. Viewers understand that Una is not just another officer in Starfleet. She is the steady force that grounds Pike's leadership. Her title becomes her identity, one that resonates beyond the bridge. The real reason behind the name. So why is Una Chin Riley called Number One? The real reason is a blend of history, symbolism, and character. On the surface, it's a naval tradition. The first officer is often Number One. But beneath that lies Gene Roddenberry's intent to push boundaries and imagine a future where gender was no obstacle to leadership. And today, the name has evolved into something more intimate and character-driven. For Una, Number One is a badge of honor, a reminder of her role as Pike's closest confidant, and a symbolic reclaiming of a groundbreaking idea that was once silenced. It tells us that Star Trek has come full circle. What was once too daring for television is now celebrated as